Could you give your short biography, where you born, and your first generation, and your mom, father, your family background, and how you went to JNU? What made you to go to that far from Maharashtra to JNU, and then to EFLU?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much for asking me about my personal life or biographical life, Ravi. Uh, I born in a village called Devri in Maharashtra, which is a border of Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra, and most of the population was of the Gond tribe in that area, and mostly the population was full of Mahars and other caste as well. And many of us are aware that after conversion in Nagpur in 1956, Ambedkar phenomena, the Ambedkar movement became, they were already strong, Ambedkar movement was already strong, but became more vibrant after conversion. And every one of the Dalit family was sort of aspired to be professional graduates, become doctors, engineers. So there was Ambedkar phenomena in Maharashtra in my generation. So my parents were very poor.
Which year was this, sir?
This was in 80s, 70s and 80s. Even my earlier generation in 60s, they were sort of looking for a higher education, because I think because of the example of Dr. Ambedkar, they fully convinced that only education is the tool for liberation, because they were not having capital, they were socially oppressed, there is no economic sort of strength in their families. My grandfather was just a labor worker and selling cloths, wandering village to village. My father was a road cutter, and later on he understood the message of Dr. Ambedkar and tried to become a professional engineer. So I have seen that phenomena in my parental generation, that they were coming from a great struggle, working and studying, daily wages. My father was gardener for some time. He worked in garden, he worked on roadside, he cracked the stones roadside, and then he became engineer, and his whole energy sort of went in educating us. So from that particular family, you can see that every family sort of aspire to become very educated professional graduates, and they fully convinced that education is only emancipatory tool for them. So then how I became a medical graduate. I'm a pharmacist.
Pharmacist?
Yeah, I did a 5 years BPharm course, but there were always currents and the streams of Ambedkarite spirit in all youths and all families, and most of them were sort of deeply convinced that only a higher education can give us some prestige and dignity in the society. And that's how I am also a sort of part of that process, part of that phenomena. And there were huge competition, and I could face the entrance exams and the open merit and the scheduled caste merits will be of only 1 or 2 marks or 1 or 2% difference at the cutoff merits in highly dignified colleges, whether it's medical colleges, management colleges, engineering colleges, pharmacy colleges, dental colleges. So that spirit sort of boomed because of Dr. Ambedkar's movement among Dalit communities in India. And though I was not in humanities in my graduation period, but that spirit was there, and I myself was very deeply involved in mainstream Ambedkarite organizations called BAMSEF or Payback to Society programs, started by, well, earlier it was through Kanshiram, and Khapade was a main person who started BAMSEF. So I was attending there some workshops, there some programs, so that inspired me a lot. In spite of my formal science education, I was very deeply inspired by Dr. Ambedkar and his conversion movement, and the philosophy of Buddhism he applied to liberate and transform the society. So that's how I was inspired to go to Delhi. And I heard of JNU from my friends from Nagpur. And after that, I gave up my science career. I was working in pharmacy companies, multinational companies. I gave up that profession. And this figure called Dr. Ambedkar deeply inspired me. And I wanted to study more what he studied, how like his life was deeply inspired me. So I was not very much interested in industrial and market life. I wanted to make more use of my life and my intellect and my talent and my energies. So I heard of JNU is a place where people sort of exercise their intellectual freedom, educational freedom, academic freedom. I heard of my friends, my colleagues, and mostly I heard of S.K. Thorat. I read his one book on untouchables economy, and I came across with Savis painting in those time, and I heard some of his workshop conducted in JNU. So I appeared for an entrance exam in 2002 for MA, and I get admitted in Arts and Aesthetics department for my MA program. And that's how sort of my turn became from that Maharashtrian higher education phenomena to go more deep in Ambedkarite mainstream movements, BAMSEF and Triratna Bauddha Mahasangha and other Buddhist movement as well. And I was deeply sort of attracted towards that, and that made me to be in JNU, in fact, to understand more all the social, cultural, political phenomena more in articulate, organized way. And from the narration of my friends, I thought that JNU is the best place to sort of give turn to my career.